announcer, being accompanied by Daniel Garcia from London, England, weighing 223 pounds, Nigel McGuinness.
Well, much like the greatest rock and roll band of all time, Oasis is enjoying a resurgence around the world. Is this the second act that Nigel McGuinness has been looking for? His biggest opportunity to date, coming in his hometown of London, England. As there we see the embrace with Johnny Saint and Marty Jones at ringside.
Yeah, two British wrestling legends. If you aren't familiar with either Marty Jones or Johnny Saint, I invite you to go to YouTube and just check them out. I mean, the stuff that they did revolutionized professional wrestling, and a whole generation of wrestlers, Nigel McGuinness, myself included, have studied them, have learned from them. They've just been an incredible aspect of professional wrestling that not a lot of Americans have seen.
Yeah, just like we heard in that video package, Nigel McGuinness, Zack Sabre Jr. defining two different generations of what it meant to be a British professional wrestler. Johnny Saint and Marty Jones did exactly that.
His opponent from the Isle of Sheffield, Kent, England, weighing 95 kilograms, he is the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, Zack Sabre Jr. IWGP 世界ヘビー級チャンピオン TMDK ザ・フロントザック・セイバー・ジュニア。
We are once again joined at the announce desk by the English language voice of New Japan Pro Wrestling, Walker Stewart. And Walker, you're here for a big one, man.
It's going to be an incredible night. It already has been thus far. The two best technical wrestlers in the world active today in the sport go one-on-one for the richest prize in professional wrestling overall.
Well, we'll see about that, Walker.
I like a little friendly competition, huh?
Zack Sabre Jr., Nigel McGuinness. But the importance of this match, Walker, is that shots at that title, the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, do not come easily. They do not grow on trees.
Yeah, you're right about that. I mean, it was last year around this time we were talking about what Zack Sabre Jr.'s plans would be as a G1 Climax winner of G1 34 last year. Now in 2025, Zack looks over his back in a loss of the G1 semifinal into a first defense here tonight against Nigel McGuinness, a match 14 years plus in the making.
Of course, the winner of this year's G1 Climax 35 tournament. Want to send our congratulations, as even though I question his choice and representation joining the Don Callis family, Konosuke Takeshita, the Alpha, defeating Evil, literally and figuratively, to win the tournament.
Sure, and there's a big conversation to have about that regarding AEW New Japan and DDT. Konosuke Takeshita contract between those three organizations. Zack Sabre Jr., if he makes it past Nigel McGuinness, has to look toward a man like Konosuke Takeshita as a potential next challenger in New Japan Pro Wrestling's landscape. But the landscape of New Japan will change substantially if Nigel McGuinness pulls this one off tonight.
Absolutely, Nigel McGuinness.
Each of these men rolling through the snapmares to lessen the effect. You know, it's really crazy. Life has a way of coming full circle. I'm on commentary while Nigel McGuinness competes for a major championship on pay-per-view. I think I'll try something a little different from Nigel and not bury him for the entire match. But Nigel is in tremendous shape. He sees the opportunity in this, and he knows this is his chance to be a major world champion, to be the IWGP heavyweight champion. And I don't think he's gonna do anything here that's going to jeopardize that. Zack Sabre Jr., to me, the greatest scientific wrestler in the world today, and I've been in the ring with both these guys.
You know, and sorry to cut you off, but I mean, there's a conversation to have there regarding the way that Nigel McGuinness approaches technical wrestling as chess, where Zack Sabre Jr. looks at it as classical jazz music. Do you have a way to respond to that, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, you can tell the difference. Nigel is very tactical with everything he does. You see him when he comes on commentary. He has a list of jokes. He has the things when he comes.
Boy, man,
when he comes to the ring, he has a game plan, a very specific game plan. When you wrestle Zack Sabre Jr., look at him wrestle now. Look at him. He's just riffing. This is when he's in his element. He will surprise you. And look at that wrist lock takedown.
Yeah, that's beautiful, Brian. You're seeing it right here live in living color at Forbidden Door in London.
Vicious wrench of the arm by the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, Zack Sabre Jr., the IWGP, the International Wrestling Grand Prix, the governing body of the top prize in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And Zack Sabre Jr., the 13th champion overall of that title, but it was just a few years ago the IWGP Heavyweight Championship and the IWGP Intercontinental Championship were unified. So the lineage of this title goes back more than 4 decades, Walker.
Yeah, you're right. New Japan Pro Wrestling kicking off in 1972. How about it, Brian?
Do you see what Zack Sabre Jr. is doing here? I think it's very important for Zack Sabre Jr. to keep Nigel McGuinness grounded in this match. Nigel McGuinness is not just good at technical wrestling. He also has an incredible lariat. And so that's one of the things that if I'm Zack Sabre Jr., I want to keep Nigel McGuinness on the ground like he is right here. Yeah, this is where Zack Sabre Jr. has the advantage.
Zack taking the high ground, keeping Nigel on the mat. And you mentioned the roll through on the snapmare. We also saw it on the arm as well, because Nigel knows he does not want to have his palm pinned to the mat like Zack Sabre Jr. is attempting to do, because Zack likes to deliver that stomp to the tricep, which not only just affects the tricep, but the bicep, the shoulder as well.
And that is a stomp, of course, that injured the previous IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, Hiroki Goto. It's how Sabre Jr. won the title 56 days ago. May look for a first defense with it.
Yeah, it was in the rematch with Goto. Of course, Zack defeated earlier this year by Hiroki Goto to lose that title, but Zack once again on top of New Japan Pro Wrestling. But Nigel McGuinness right now is most certainly in the conversation, as you saw Daniel Garcia at the bottom of your screen trying to urge on this crowd here in London. Oh, Zack wants to throw a right hand. Nigel countered and now attacking the arm.
You know, those little acts of indecency from Nigel McGuinness. Zack Sabre Jr. is not one who's going to take lightly to it. Brian, you found that out back in Osaka last year in your career.
Yeah, and I mean, sometimes I think it's good to get Zack Sabre Jr. a little riled up, because with his riffing style of pro wrestling, I think you can take him off balance a little bit by getting him angry. He does better when he's calm, cool, and collected.
As Nigel with the arm, both arms of Zack captured, and Nigel looking to bridge backwards perhaps, trying to put pressure on the shoulders.
So I know Nigel McGuinness has said...
Instead, wait a second, into a pinning predicament here, and Zack able to kick out.
I know Nigel McGuinness has said a lot of negative things about me on commentary over the years. One of the things I'm going to say about Nigel is that I am very impressed. You know, he stopped wrestling in 2011 and didn't wrestle for 13 years. And here he is, just a year later in an IWGP Championship match. He's definitely in the ring against somebody who's scientifically superior to him, but he's holding his own right now.
Yeah, Brian, in the last I guess 18 months or so, you've been in the ring with both of these men. You've felt what they have to offer in 2025. And right now, Zack Sabre Jr. appears to be a step ahead of Nigel McGuinness.
Yeah, I mean, I just think he has the advantage of having been in the ring so often with high-level competitors. And I know Nigel McGuinness won the technical spectacle, and he did a fantastic job in that match.
Wait a second, here's that stomp!
See, and he's attacked the neck, now he's attacking the arm. This is one of the things I love about watching Zack Sabre Jr. is he'll attack a bunch of different body parts and see what opens up to him. See what's the best course of action.
And you see Nigel McGuinness coming into this match with the tape on both shoulders. Walker, I would have to imagine Zack Sabre Jr. was licking his lips the second he saw Nigel was coming into this match taped up.
There is no worse athlete to step in the ring against when you have a visible injury than the technical masterpiece that is Zack Sabre Jr., proving exactly why he is IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. And gentlemen, let's not forget, this is not just a match about the IWGP Gold. This match goes all the way back to 2011, where Zack first met Nigel McGuinness on his retirement tour all those years ago. Knew that he'd never be able to step in the ring with McGuinness up until we were in London last year, and they collided in that gauntlet matchup.
Yeah, the Casino Gauntlet match 1 year ago at Wembley Stadium. We'll be making our return to Wembley 1 year from now with AEW All In London. But right now, Nigel McGuinness just backing Sabre into the ropes to force the break from referee Stefan Smith.
I mean, it really is incredible, gentlemen, how Zack Sabre Jr. found inspiration in Nigel McGuinness, who found inspiration from Johnny Saint and Marty Jones. That through line of technical wrestling going all the way through to Billy Robinson, of all people. I mean, this is a match for technical wrestling fans, tried and true. And
I think there's an opening for Nigel McGuinness with that spin out. You know, when you don't roll through when somebody spins out on a front face lock like that, you jam shoulder really bad.
Oh, Nigel the combo.
See, and that's why Zack has to keep Nigel off of his feet.
Yeah, Nigel McGuinness, a very potent striker in addition to being a tremendous technical wrestler. And Walker, great reference there by Billy Robinson, the snake pit up in Wigan, really the birthplace of the catch-as-catch-can style of professional wrestling that has influenced so many wrestlers, Nigel McGuinness, Zack Sabre Jr. alike, but also Bryan Danielson as well.
I mean, Zack Sabre Jr. has not only kept that style alive in Nigel McGuinness's absence, but he has brought it to the front of fourfold of New Japan Pro Wrestling, the biggest wrestling organization in the country of Japan.
What anticipation!
Incredible beheading of Zack Sabre Jr.
Now the near leg is hooked. The cover was in deep, but Zack able to kick out.
I thought it was a mistake for Nigel McGuinness to play to the crowd, but he was just playing possum. I think that's one of the tactics he planned for this match.
Yeah, did you notice that his head was cocked a bit to the side? I think he was looking out of the corner of his eye, his peripheral vision, and he caught Zack coming in. Now he'll lock in that London dungeon, but Sabre, the boot on the bottom rope, the clean break, but a stomp, a parting gift for Zack Sabre Jr. Brian taking a page out of your book. He does have till 5.
Yeah, he sure does. You know, I know there's a lot of animosity between me and Nigel, but I've got to be honest, I'm rooting for him in this match.
Apparently not a two-way street then. We could be thinking Tower of London here.
Good call.
But instead, Zack finds his feet. And lays at the... Anticipation there by Zack. Juji Gatame locked in, cross arm breaker, but Nigel doing a good job trying to defend Zack, attacking the grip of Nigel.
A slight misstep, an inch turned into a mile. That is what has made Sabre Jr. a two-time world